Hey friends, if you're a parent to a baby or toddler, you know that sleep is so important and there are no shortage of devices on the market that are supposed to help your baby sleep. In this video, I'm going to compare 4 different baby sound machines with light and let you know what I think is the best so that you can make the right choice for your child's room. All of these devices can play white noise sounds to help a baby sleep. They all have lights, but there are a lot of differences. So I'm going to go quickly through each device and the pros and cons of each. First up, let's talk about the Hatch Rest Plus. I'm sure you've heard of this one because it is the most famous of these types of devices, so everything else kind of compares to this one. First, it comes with a charger base. This is the only device that has a base, and it makes it completely portable and really easy to set on here to charge every day. Another thing that I love about this device is if you're running a program that has a sound or light going on, and you hit the Nightlight button, it turns on the Nightlight, and then you turn it to turn it off, and it goes right back to what it was doing before. I really like that the Nightlight is independent of everything else. And the Hatch app is really hard to beat. It has incredible amounts of customization. For example, you can have one thing happen for a certain amount of time, like this is gonna go for 30 minutes, and then it'll automatically switch to the next step after those 30 minutes. This also means that you can set something like a nap timer where it's red for 1 hour, and then after 1 hour, it turns green. And you can start this at any time by using the app or clicking the buttons on the device. You can also set schedules. For example, this one is turning yellow for a short amount of time in the morning and then turning green to let a child know it's time to get out of bed. The sounds on the Hatch are absolutely gorgeous too. There is nothing annoying about them. They really are just very soothing. I will compare the sounds of the different devices in a minute. One negative is you do have to use the app for setup on the device, but once it's set up, you can just use the touch ring on the device to go through your favorites. So it's not like you have to use the app on a daily basis, but it is pretty much required for setup. Next up, let's take a look at the Nanit Sound and Light. The Nanit is similar in price to the Hatch. One thing I like about it is that it does have a physical button on top, which I do like better than the Hatch's touch ring. The sounds on the Nanit are high quality, and I do like them. I don't think I like them quite as much as the Hatch, but they are very nice to listen to. The Nanit does have a battery to make it portable, just like the Hatch, and it charges with USB-C, which is nice because you can use any USB-C cord you have laying around. Nanit does also have its own app. It's pretty similar to what Hatch has. You have controls, you have favorites, and you have routines. One of the big differences though is that you don't have multi-step routines and there is no way to do timers with Nanit, which I think really limits its functionality. The Nanit does have a couple features that the Hatch doesn't have. It does have temperature monitoring, humidity monitoring, and an audio monitor. Although the audio monitor has never worked right for me, so I wouldn't necessarily depend on it. One thing that's really nice about the Nanit app that you can't do with the Hatch is that you can share it with another parent. The Hatch only allows one person to be logged on to that device. So you could use it on 2 phones, but you have to log in with the same email address. With the Nanit, you can use your own account. If you have the Nanit running with a sound or light going on and you want to use it as a nightlight, maybe to do a feeding or a diaper change, you are going to mess up the routine and you're going to have to start the whole thing all over again. This can be really annoying if you tried to have it running on a schedule. Next up, the Frida Baby 3-in-1. The Frida Baby is meant to be a nightlight, sound machine, and an okay to wake device. You have a nightlight on the bottom, and then you have separate okay to wake alarms on the top. And you can set a schedule for having the red light on at night, then the yellow light turns on, and then the green light. Some pros of the Frida are that it is very inexpensive. It's less than half the price of the Nanit and the Hatch. And you can use this device as a Bluetooth speaker connecting your phone to it. And this is the only one that I'm looking at that is able to do that. And the Frida does not have an app, and a lot of people do like a device that doesn't have to depend on an app to work. But honestly, that is where the pros on this device end. The settings are very inflexible. As I mentioned, that red, yellow, green, the red must stay on all night. The yellow has to be on for 30 minutes and then it changes to the green. And that red light is quite bright all night long. And a lot of people are not gonna like that. And even just use it as a sound machine and nightlight, the buttons and settings are just so not intuitive. Every time I try to use this thing, I have to pull the manual back out. And there is no built-in battery in this device. It does have a backup battery that will hold the settings in it, but it will not keep running if there's a power blip. There's also no way to use it for naps for the okay to wake. The sounds on this device are also okay. They're not terrible, but they're not great either. Next up, the Momcozy white noise machine with Nightlight. This one is also pretty low priced. It's about the same as the Frida, and it's also half the price of the Nanit and Hatch. But unlike the Frida, it comes with all the functionality you could really need. I really like that it has physical buttons, and you could use pretty much everything on this device without using an app and just using the buttons. The Momcozy also does have the built-in battery, so it is portable, you can charge it, and it'll last at least 12 hours with the light and sound going. Momcozy does not have its own app for this, it uses the Tuya Smart app, but the functionality for this sound machine in there is really good. You can fully control it, you can change the favorites, and you can also set schedules. It does not have the multi-step schedules like the Hatch, and it does not have timers in the same way that the Hatch does. But otherwise, it's quite functional. As for negatives on this device, again, I would say the sound quality is acceptable, but not great. The sound quality is not as good as the Hatch or Nanit. Also, it includes a cord, but not a charger block. It also doesn't have a nap timer where one thing will go on after a certain amount of time, but you can use the schedules to say have a green light come on at 2 p.m. It does have shut-off timers though, which the Nanit does not have. I would also say the light on this one is bright enough to use as a nightlight, but not really bright enough for diaper changes. The only one of these four that I would say is bright enough for diaper changes is the Nanit. When you look at the four of them next to each other, you can see how much brighter the Nanit is compared to the others. So to compare the sounds of the four, I'm gonna play white noise on all of them, and then I'm gonna play waves on all of them. So let's talk about my recommendations. I think it's pretty clear I would not recommend the Frida Baby to anybody. And the Nanit is nice, but it's really lacking a lot of features compared to the Hatch, and it costs the same as the Hatch, so I would not recommend that one. So it comes down to the Momcozy and the Hatch Rest Plus. The Momcozy is less than half the price, and it does almost all the same things that the Hatch does. So would I recommend that you go with the less expensive one that has all the features? Actually, no. I would go for the Hatch Rest Plus if you can afford it, or if you can get grandma to buy it. The Momcozy does a lot of the same things, but just not nearly as nicely as the Hatch does. It does feel worth the money for me. And really, if you're on a budget, I would just skip a baby sound machine altogether. It is not a necessary thing. So if you have the money to spend on a baby sound machine, I think the Hatch Rest Plus is worth it. And don't forget, you will find the links down below to all the devices, the exact models that I've reviewed in this, and if you do buy anything through my links, I will earn a commission. If you like baby product review and comparison videos like this, please do subscribe. I'm trying to get this new channel off the ground, and I would love to have you along for the ride.